Body type A, body type B, and probably also no father figure, but two moms from whom one is named Bruce. But in any case, it's such a small thing. Why are you so mad, you disgusting chud? Why create all these problems? Maybe because you're a nicey, noisy. I didn't finish kindergarten. Failed 3 times, in fact. Got a trophy for that at least. But despite that, I know exactly how life should be, how people should act, and how you should live. Oh yes. God, you love these people, don't you? Same, same. I also love them, bro.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So today we're going to be talking about the chaotic release of Oblivion Remastered. Now as you can see, the numbers are great. I don't think anybody is surprised by this given the success of the franchise and this particular game. The remaster was a welcome surprise that seemingly fell out of the sky with pretty much no warning, so people were taken by surprise by
There was a lot of warning, a lot of hidden marketing was done. Again, all of the leaks completely fake, in my opinion. At this point, I'm pretty sure that not Nate Dogg or what's his name is industry plant.
this, but are
Not joking, by the way. It's way too sus information that's being given to the public accidentally and leaked from insiders.
definitely very happy with the results. And as you can see, comparing it to recent AAA releases, absolutely crushing games like Dragon Age the Veilguard, crushing games like Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that really shows just how powerful this original game is and its remaster as a result, and also the fact that
No, it shows that modern day slop studios like BioWare, like Ubisoft, and most importantly, like Bethesda, are trash that are incapable of producing anything good. With Oblivion's success, there are no more excuses. Gamers are not looking at games 20, 30 years ago with rose tinted glasses and being unreasonable with saying they're good. This is proof. Games previously were better.
nostalgia can play a very powerful role in the success of a game if you allow it to. However, there hasn't been an absence of controversies. Really, the major one here is this change to the design of your character, going from typical gender options with male or female in the original game, now moving over to body type options with type 1 and type 2. Now, is this enough to derail the success of this game? Absolutely
No.
not. Clearly, the game, its remaster, is doing really well, but this is something we're
But again, everyone does not like it, okay? 99% of people would choose to not have body type 1, body type 2. Everyone wants to be male or female.
worth talking about because a lot of people don't like seeing this, and also the amount of chaos that would spin out of this is definitely worth looking at. So, as we've talked about before, it seems like an obvious choice to go with male or female options
Yep.
with your game. After all, as you can see, Mark Taminsky here, the creator of Lords of the Fallen, used to use type A and type B, but then said, hey, what do you guys actually want? Vote on this and we will follow through with the results. And as you can see, after 50,000 votes, male or female,
Dude, people are all. The woke losers are also pissed about this, I remember. They demanded blood and stuff because, they're the reasonable ones, obviously.
was the preferred choice of essentially 90% of those voters. So as a developer, why would you ever stray away from a base of male or female?
Because you're an insane leftist wokey, also. That's a very good reason why you would stray away from reality.
It really seems like the obvious choice, and then there's other options for people who would prefer a type A or type B, and that would be to mod the game, especially for single player games. And that's what people are doing as a
That's
result of
racist.
this remaster, going with type A and type B. There was immediately mods coming out that allowed players to go with the traditional female and male options that existed in the original game. And I think that's something that's not really a crazy thing for people to want, and it's also a single player experience. So why would this mod be such a big deal? Although, like I said, it is interesting that it's the people who have the majority opinion who have to mod out this stuff instead of the minority who prefer type A and type B not having to go with a mod for this situation. But of course,
In his video?
for this situation. But of course, as with anything else, situation, not having to go with.
Yep.
But of course, as with anything else, people were fuming about this mod existing. So you can see this tweet here saying, if Oblivion not having a male or female option bothers you so much that you need to download a mod, you are a very, very insecure human being.
Why? I love how they say these things, and why? Maybe you're a very insecure human being if you eat, because who says you need to eat to live? Okay, that's just that's a societal construct. Okay, nutrition, eating, survival, society bullshit. Okay.
Well, if you see someone installing a mod on their single player experience and you feel mad enough to complain about it on social media, you might be the very insecure human being. And this all just tails back to who cares? That's the big hallmark of this whole thing. People saying, who cares if there's type A, type B? Well, clearly people cared enough.
Oh god, this is the classic stupid argument. It's like, we have been through this so many times. The mill just keeps on milling this crap, okay? If it's not a big deal, why are you mad if we're changing it, okay? Who are you also to tell me what I should believe is not a big or small deal, okay? I maybe think it's a big deal. If you think it's a small deal, don't be mad at me for choosing to change it, okay? But again, it's just a ridiculous facade trying to pretend, oh, you're being unreasonable. Gaslighting is the only weapon these people have. Shaming, gaslighting, that's it. Without that, they have no power. The moment you understand that, the moment you understand that you can just ignore their stupidity, and these opinions matter nothing to you, they lose all their power. That's it.
To change something that was working. It wasn't broken. It was totally fine. The male and female options, they existed and now they're changed, and people are adjusting with their mods because they don't want to see it. And what's the big deal? Oh wait, people still complain about that. And of course, we're talking about Nexus mods here, which is the largest modding community, and for lack of a better term, they're very woke, and they've made this very clear. Okay, if you have wrong think with your.
I can't wait until someone replaces Nexus mod. It's just every single game that comes out and has some kind of folk BS in it, Nexus mod is like, we're banning it.
Mod, it's getting banned. That's the way it's been. However, people have been pushing back more and more over time, and of course, with this situation, it got banned. The body type, male or female modification here, was banned within hours, and it was.
Dude, I heard they crumbled the pressure to get it back. I mean, again, Nexus mods will be replaced with something. They can't do woke thing, piss off their community, woke thing, piss off their community, woke thing, piss off everyone plus their communities, and, no one replaces them. Someone's gonna smell blood in the water, someone's gonna go. And the fact that they crumbled to this means that most likely they are seeing a change, that people are pissed and, the numbers are going down, most likely. Otherwise, they would never do it.
Banned multiple times over the course of the next day or so. It was a big mess. And of course, if you look at this from a far back distance, you see all of the people who were defending this switch to Type A or Type 1 and Type 2, they said, who cares? It's not a big deal. Then people enhanced their single player experience with a harmless mod, and now they're screaming it must be banned. It just make it make sense. These people are very hypocritical about this stuff. But there's also a bit of.
They don't care that they're hypocritical. That's like the big issue here.
A game breaking element to this, as well as pointed out in this.
But remember, the fact that they're hypocritical doesn't allow us to be hypocritical. The age-old question, it's not really a question, but it's a philosophical dilemma. And it has an answer, and it has 100% correct answer. And that age-old philosophical question is, in order to overthrow a tyrant, Is it justifiable for you to become as equal or greater of a tyrant in the name of overthrowing the tyrant? If you did it all initially in order of good? Well, the answer is no. If you become the same tyrant or a bigger tyrant, overthrowing already an existing tyrant and completely losing all of your morals is not worth it ever. Okay? So remember, the fact that they're gaslighting doesn't mean that we can't gaslight. The fact that they spout random bullshit, ignore laws, doesn't mean that we can't do the same, okay? This is how we get to the point where now people who talk politics are saying, yeah, fuck it, let's ignore laws. Yeah, the laws are stupid. Let's ignore them. Let's just, all of these laws, yeah, let's just ignore them. Those people need to be named and shamed, shunned, and removed from every community possible because they are gonna corrupt every. They are gonna make you well the people that you hate at the end of the time. At the end of the day.
Tweet. So I don't typically comment on body type nonsense because it helps no one, but Oblivion has a quest called the Siren's Deception that changes if you play as a female. But now you don't choose gender, you choose body type. So does this quest still exist or did they change it? And down here's the full context. The quest has you investigating a group of women who rob men by seducing them. If you
Based.
play as a woman, they try to cut you in. If you play as a man, they just try to seduce you. But I'm not a female according to Betsida. I'm a body type 2 or whatever, which is a very valid point to make here. Like, does this actually change the gameplay experience and the dialogue? And
No, obviously not. This is performative. Everything these woke losers do is performative to begin with. Okay, the company that made the graphics update, they didn't add this. This was literally Bethesda coming in and saying, "Body type A, body type B," and that's it. That's it. Bethesda did that.
the route this quest goes, I don't really know. But of course, people don't want to hear any sort of valid points being made. You can see some of the responses to that previous post saying, seems like nobody gives a shit, and the game is breaking records.
Yeah.
Pancakes, waffles
Wow.
situation right here. When did they say this game is not doing well? They're just pointing out that this switch to Type 1
Yeah, this is also a common stupid gaslight. It's not even a gaslighting tactic. I would say that this is just stupid because not even the dumbest of fucks fall for this. Game has something that's woke, right? This much of a smidgen of thing that can be actually legitimately deemed woke, and someone like that is going to be, well, as you can see, no one cares about woke because everyone's playing. Yeah, but the game is not entirely woke. This is like a small tidbit. Yeah, it's not going to impact its success. And this is their argument for why people don't care about wokeness in games. Because, yeah, when 0.001% of the game is woke, and it's ignorable, people don't care about wokeness. Very true. Very keen observation. But the fact that you're trying to gaslight and say that, hey, no one cares, everyone loves woke because look at that, people are still playing it despite the woke is just stupid.
and Type 2 might actually break some of the gameplay in the story. And then here's another one saying, good, now play the effing game, weirdo, when they say, it's fine, I'm just pointing out something that annoys me. Like, people are so hostile about this stuff. And when anyone dares to question some of these decisions that seemingly don't represent the majority opinion, or in this case, even cause some issues with the gameplay itself. But there was another unintended consequence of this, giving Nexus mods the benefit of the doubt they probably don't deserve. There was also a Chinese translation of Oblivion that was nuked as a result of this because the codes they're using come from the original 2006 release, and that includes male and female, which caused this mod to suffer as a result of the decisions of Nexus mods. And that is a very bizarre one because, yeah, I mean, how do you explain this away? Is this the work of the bigots, the bigoted gamers? I think not. But of course, there was a W in this. Enough pressure was put on Nexus mods, and they caved. It took a lot of people canceling their premium subscriptions and complaining about this on social media. But eventually, Nexus mods, they threw in the towel, as PC Gamer says, and they have allowed this mod to exist once again. And well, PC Gamer's pissed, and I love it. They see this body type with gender modification here get replaced or put back, and they're fuming. Let's read what they said here. One of the very, very small changes in Oblivion Remastered is the switch in the character creator from male and female bodies, as it was in the original, to body type 1 and body type 2. It's the sort of thing that would likely go entirely unnoticed were it not for the distressingly predictable explosion of outrage from the usual corners of the toxic gamer.
Shaming! Again, this is all they can do. This is all you will ever see about this. Shaming and lying, and that's it. That's it!
And in short order, the creation of a mod that brought back the original male-female body options. This is very funny. Classic games journalism right here.
The funny part is that this was done in day one, and this is PC Gamer. God, I love PC Gamer. I actually should check that website, because PC Gamer does the greatest articles, okay? Catapixel 2 is worse than Diablo 4 because the loot dopamine is not there. Catapixel 2 is worse than Diablo 4 because it doesn't have the drip. Fuck me. I mean, shit, boy.
Saying this is a very, very, very small change, and then they make an entire article about people not liking it. Exactly. But of course, they're blaming the toxic gamers who are exploding in anger. Meanwhile, it's Nexus Mod who is coping, seething, and censoring people because they don't like this enhancement to the solo gaming experience. But, of course, Nexus Mod backing down, they're now promoting this body type selector mod and literally sharing.
Is this staged? Yep, seems fit. Yeah, this seems staged.
Sharing it with people asking for it. I mean, what a turnaround, right? It was so bigoted and terrible, they had to take it down as soon as it went up, but now they're promoting it. Interesting. And this is actually a very bizarre situation where, yes, the mod is back, but they left this cringe community notice regarding this particular mod, and they also locked the comments. You can see this community manager saying this. This mod has been and likely will continue to be a source of controversy within the community after a thorough...
No. Okay, listen. Statistically, 41% of your community that finds this controversial will not exist by the end of the year. It is what it is.
Review. We've determined that the...
And it's called healing.
Content of the mod itself does not violate...
Cure minor wounds will not save this one, okay?
...our community guidelines. However, due to the nature of the topic, which often attracts intense and sometimes hostile...
Okay, listen. We live in the Oblivion world. Someone wants to become trans and does the surgery. You cast Cure minor wounds on them. Cast Cure minor wounds! Damn!
Hostile discussion, the comments section will remain locked to prevent further escalation. Why was the original upload removed? There has been a lot of speculation and misinformation regarding the removal of the original upload. To clarify, the mod was not taken down because of its content as stated in the ban.
Yeah. We know you're lying. We know you got spat on. We know you got defeated. We know you are now trying to pretend that everything was fine. We know. We see. We remember. We hate you. Not gonna change, Nexus mods. Eat dirt. Anyway, that was Rev. 10 out of 10. Bye!